His career has been marked by controversy. He's been as critical of black men as he has been of the white community. But now Louis Farrakhan, leader of the Nation of Islam, is stepping down as he battles against cancer. But that does not mean that he's stepping back. I sat down with Minister Farrakhan in a Nightline exclusive. Minister Louis Farrakhan, aged 73, doesn't know how many more sermons he has to preach.
My time is up. The final call can't last forever.
But lots of people are still listening.
Because now that I've been taken from death's door, and I didn't die in the hospital as most thought I would.
The Nation of Islam's leader for the last 30 years is being treated for prostate and colon cancer. And he was in a conciliatory mood at the annual Saviour's Day service that marks the birthday of the nation's founder, Wallace Fard.
Christians and Muslims, we have to break down these artificial divisions that divide us and come together as a family.
This is the Farrakhan most Americans are familiar with.
You are not real Jews, those of you that are not real Jews. You are the synagogue of Satan.
Farrakhan now wants to take down barriers that some say he erected many years ago. It's noticeable that you're using different language compared to the sort of things that you've said in the past. Are you saying now that you regret some of those inflammatory statements?
I can never, ever regret speaking the truth.
But do you regret the way you said some of those things?
The way I speak truth, the passion that I have for the truth that I speak can sometimes get in the way of people hearing what I have to say. That's all part of my growth and development. So I'm not today what I was.
The son of Caribbean immigrants, he was born Louis Eugene Walcott in 1933. After hearing Fard's successor, Elijah Muhammad, he converted to this variant of Islam at age 22. At the time, he was a calypso musician called the Charmer. He would soon give up harmonizing in order to draw attention to the discord that he says exists between black and white America.
If I condemn the evil of white people, don't call me a racist. I didn't do it. You and your people did it.
Farrakhan became leader of the Nation of Islam in 1978. Since then, he's inflamed many, accusing whites of being devils created by an evil scientist and describing Judaism as a dirty religion. As we met at his home in Chicago, I asked Minister Farrakhan if he still holds to those beliefs. So today, in 2007, do you regard white people as devils?
The Honorable Elijah Muhammad instructed me before he left to change that language. Yes, white people have acted as devils, no question about that. But he told me, don't use that language anymore. I want you to use the language Satan, the slave master's children, and the slave master. Farrakhan is not anti-white. Farrakhan is not anti-Semitic. Farrakhan is not anti-American. Farrakhan is not anti-gay. Farrakhan is pro-black. And believe me, I would be a fool not to be pro the country in which I'm born and nurtured and have grown.
What about referring to Hitler as being wickedly great?
I stand by that statement today.
You think he was wickedly great?
Well, what does great mean to you?
Substantive, impressive.
Wasn't he? You're still talking about him.
I have to say, I don't think he was impressive for murdering 6 million Jews, no.
No, that's not impressive. That's wicked.
We are one! We are one!
But Farrakhan's career hasn't only involved challenging history and the majority white population. In 1995, he convened the Million Man March in Washington, perhaps the single largest gathering of African Americans ever. And he delivered a rousing admonishment, urging black men to take greater responsibility for their children and their community.
We must accept the responsibility that God has put upon us, not only to be good husbands and fathers and builders of our community, but God is now calling upon the despised and the rejected to become the cornerstone and the builders of a new world.
And advising them against mixed-race relationships.
Do you forbid in black and white dating and marriage?
I would love to forbid it. Because we are so far behind. Our women don't have adequate men. So I want the black man to marry the black woman. I want the white woman to marry the white man.
Why?
Because that's the natural thing.
As Minister Farrakhan continues to undergo treatment, he's watching the presidential candidates carefully, one in particular.
A black man, Barack Obama, has announced that he's standing for President of the United States of America. Do you support him?
I like him very much. I like him. He has a fresh approach. He's a beautiful young man.
Some people have said that he's deliberately avoiding controversial black figures like yourself, Mr. Al Sharpton, Jesse Jackson, for fear of alienating white voters.
First of all,
do you think that's true?
I would give him credit. If avoiding me would help him to become president, I'd be glad to stay in the background because of the taint that's on the minister.
But do you think he's deliberately avoiding people
I can't say that.
like yourself in order not to alienate potential white voters?
I can't say that because I haven't made myself available to him.
Has he reached out to you?
He has not made himself available to me.
There was some controversy about Mr. Obama's early Muslim education. Do you think that may have hurt his chances?
No. When a man gets into the presidency who has some appreciation for the culture of Islam as well as the culture of Christianity and is respectful of the Jewish culture, that man has a heck of a chance to heal wounds and to bring people together.
What about Mrs. Clinton?
Not the young people. Mrs. Clinton is formidable, but Barack is even more.
Hillary Clinton was, as husband, Bill Clinton was described as a black president. What does that make her?
Really, not much. Although black people looked at Bill Clinton as a black president, he did less for black people than other presidents. We lost the safety net under his administration for welfare mothers. We lost a lot.
And with that, Minister Farrakhan needed to rest, but not before one parting shot of rhetoric.
I'm very aware that I have fewer years in front of me than behind me.
Do you have any regrets?
No.
Are you sorry for anything you've said or done?
No.
Do you want to apologize to any of the groups that may have felt offended by you?
No. No. I said to some of the groups that have, quote unquote, been offended by my words, come, let's sit down and reason together. Show me where what I said was wrong. I can correct the manner of my delivery. That I would regret. But the words, if they're true, I would be a hypocrite to back down on the truth that I spoke.
No backward steps from Louis Farrakhan. And when we come back, this year's newly minted billionaires face a new challenge: how to spend all that money. It's a sign of the times.